All right, everyone, this is Norvell Central coming back at you with another YouTube video. And at this time of the recording, I have 1,320 subscribers. So I really do appreciate everyone subscribing, liking the videos, commenting your thoughts, even turning on that bell. So I'm very excited to kind of bring today a little bit better of a situation. So today marks the 6-week mark before the season opener against Duquesne on August the 27th. And it's a very exciting time for Florida State because that's when people get their preview magazines. That's when people look online to try to figure out the different schemes and learning the players and everything like that. So I just want to bring more along the lines of a statistical approach to a lot of different things that are going on, especially with last season. So as we break down these stats, just want to give you kind of some high points. And these stats were actually provided by Kurt Wheeler with the Tallahassee Democrat. And it's really important to see some of these statistics that they have to kind of see where Florida State stands as they go into next season. So on offense, they actually had 27.6 points per game. So that ranked 73rd out of 130 teams. And it's a number I think it's going to kind of increase a little bit more. I think you could hinder into the 30 range, maybe 29, somewhere around there, just because of the added playmakers that you added, an improved offensive line, improved quarterback confidence in Jordan Travis. Now he's got to stay healthy. That's the biggest thing with a lot of things that you got to understand with that. And the other kind of glaring number that I saw was third down percentage conversion rate with that, and that's 34.9, and it ranked 104th in the country. And even Dillingham last season, he talked about the importance of getting those third down and shorts and being able to convert those third down and shorts to extend those drives. And we weren't able to do that, unfortunately. But when we were able to get past that third down conversion rate and get into the red zone, that's where we really thrived on offense. As you talk about our red zone conversion percentage at 90.5%, 20th in the country, and then our red zone touchdown percentage is 73.8, which is 7th in the country. So it's really exciting to see our red zone success be so successful. But the problem is getting there. That's going to be the main thing. Sacks allowed per game was 3. That was 113th in the country. Our offensive line improved, but there were some weaknesses, especially on the interior. And I think that's going to be shored up this year with the Caden Lyles being added to the fold, and then Bless Harris, Emmanuel, Turntine, different guys like that are going to be able to do that. And you got your stability on the left side with Robert Scott and also Dylan Gibbons. But you got to figure out the rest of the mix. You got even a guy like Darius Washington who was hurt during the spring. Can he swing back and be able to get that? Can a young freshman come in there? Can one of these unproven underclassmen come in there like a Rod or a Bryson Estes or a Thomas Schrader, guys like that? Will one of those guys be able to step up? And I think that's the kind of the process that you have. But I think Florida State's got 8 solid offensive linemen that you can put in there. Now, past that, I don't know, but we haven't been able to say that for quite some time with Florida State. But just turning over to the defensive side of things, there's going to be a lot of great things going on defensive-wise because I think you got most of your leaders back, especially you're getting an improved linebacker in Tatum Bethune. You're also getting those improved and also experienced safeties and corners out there. 4 of your 5 starters return there. Defensive end is really the only question mark that you really have because defensive tackle, you still got most of those guys back and everything. And how would they really be able to do that? So points per game allowed was 26.5, which was 70th in the country. I expect that number to decrease and being able to get higher in the rankings on that because I do think that it is more of an improved unit. The first half of the schedule is a little bit more difficult than the back half, so we'll see how that back half of the season kind of dictates everything. Then you talk about the yards per play allowed was 36th in the country at 5.18, which is not really that bad. That's a really solid number for them. Yards per rush allowed is 3.62, and that's 34th in the country. So there's a lot of good things coming on there. But just like everything else going on in the country right now, it's just trying to figure out different things. So whenever we were able to kind of focus on different things. We talk about the defense being able to generate those sacks. And last season they had 33 sacks, which equals to about 2.75 sacks per game, which was 33rd in the country. Now, can they be able to swing together and get all of these guys on there? Will a Derek McClendon step up? Will Patrick Payton? Will Jared Verse? Dennis Briggs. There's a lot of different guys that need to step up at that defensive end position for them to be successful. And you talked about how the generational talent that you had at defensive end with Keir Thomas and Jermaine Johnson were mainly the reasons why your defense blossomed last year. Now, can they improve and put it all together? That's a different story. We have to figure out and see what we got in some of those guys. But you turn over to the special teams; they were woeful last season. It was really rough. And you talk about the yards per punt return, and it was 4.2. That's something that needs to definitely change. That was 118th in the country out of 130. And that is something that Florida State does not want to happen again. That was an absolute atrocious kind of different thing. There was a couple of guys back there that tried to kind of get in there and figure out different things, but it just never really panned out. You're hoping that a guy like Sam McCall or also Micah Pittman or, Winston Wright Jr., guys like that are in the special teams for punt and kickoff, you got to get better production back there. And hopefully Winston Wright's able to come back and be a kickoff return specialist. But we'll definitely see. Yards per kickoff was 20.4, 65th in the country. It was about middle of the road. I'm actually surprised that number was actually as high as it was. But, it definitely has to get a little bit better. And, just having a different mindset with a lot of different things, because last year's team was okay. It was just more inconsistent more than anything. And the penalties per game just kind of tells the story. 6.9 penalties per game. That's unexcusable. 93rd in the country. And then penalty yards per game was 62.5 and 102 in the country. And it just all boils down to being more determined, being more focused with everything going on. And I think you can really get behind some of these guys that were able to kind of get the necessary reps for certain things. I think the guys really, after the Louisville second half, I think you really started to see a defense that was motivated and ready to go. And we want to talk about this little bitty phrase that Norvell talks about all the time, and that's climb. Commitment, little things, which is just details, intensity, mental toughness, and brotherhood. That's one thing that Florida State has to get right. They have to be able to commit to all of the things that are going on around them, the little things like the details and everything like that, the intensity, the way they practice every single day, not just a game environment, the mental toughness that they have through all these games and trying to fight back through adversity, and then brotherhood, being together, sticking together through thick and thin. I think that's what's going to take Florida State over the edge. And right now you're looking at a 7 over-under on the win totals for Vegas. I do think that's about right, just considering the production in the last couple of years. 3 wins the first year, Mike Norvell. Second year, 5 wins. Hopefully this year, 7 to 8. We'll definitely see how that goes. I know fans have some certain varying of what they want to see from this program. Maybe 8 wins, maybe 9 wins. But just overall, I think 7 wins is a decent win total for right now, just because I want to see more out of that offense. I think the defense has more solidified itself, but the offense has some playmakers added to the team, just like there's 4 transfers and a couple of offensive line transfers. You got Trey Benson back there. You got a returning Jordan Travis. But what happens if an injury happens? You want to see more production out of that. I think the defense will be fine either way. I think they're backed up with a little bit more depth at certain positions more than others, and especially if they're running that 4-2-5, I think they can be really successful. But I do think that guys like even Keyshawn Helton, for example, just talking about 6 weeks away from football, I don't really know. That's a big difference, because last season he was the number 2 or number 3 receiver, and now he's probably 4 or 5 at this point in the depth chart. So it just always helps to have depth. Nothing wrong with Keyshawn Helton, but just bringing more along the competition and talent to the room, I think really, really helps in trying to get everything kind of situated with that. But I hope everyone enjoyed watching the video today. I know it was a lot of stats being thrown at your face, but I really do appreciate everyone kind of listening and tuning in. It's going to be an unbelievable season this year, and I'm super excited to see how this pans out. Be sure to follow my social media accounts. My Instagram account is norvellcentral. My Twitter account is Central Norvell, and then I also have a Facebook account, Norvell Central. Let me know if you need to find that as well. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like the video, comment your thoughts, and just let me know everything. I just want to know your thoughts and how excited you are. What are your strengths and weaknesses of this team? And just, as always, I really do appreciate the love and the support. And as always, go Noles.